I used to work at least 60 hours a week doing everything by myself, checking my inbox, updating my calendar, sending outreach messages, everything. But if you fast forward to today, I run a company that does $3 million in annual revenue. And just recently I was able to take a 3-week trip to Europe where I barely worked and the business kept growing without me. This was possible because I've managed to buy back nearly 40 hours of my time by hiring and delegating low ROI tasks and using a very specific 3-part framework. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how it works so you can copy it and start to buy back your own time as a business owner starting today. Before you can begin to buy back your time, you need to know what to hand off. Most founders skip this part and then wonder why hiring somebody and delegating tasks did not work. What I want you to do is to open up your project management software or your to-do list and review every task that you've completed over the past month. And if you don't have a month's worth of data, just 1 week works. Then categorize those tasks using the Eisenhower matrix. So important plus urgent, do it yourself. Important but not urgent, then schedule that for later. Not important but urgent, delegate that. And then not important, not urgent, delegate that completely. Anything that ends up in the delegate sections is something that needs to get done, but it does not have to be done by you. Some examples could include sending team reminders, LinkedIn connection requests, inbox management, calendar scheduling, data entry. Once you've identified all of these tasks, then you record looms of yourself doing each one. So walk through it step by step with commentary. This will become your training material. Then take that loom transcript, drop it into ChatGPT and say, hey, turn this into an SOP I can hand to somebody on my team. Now you've got a documented process ready to hand to VAs. Step 2, hire. You're probably going to need an executive assistant first. EAs are generalists who can handle the widest range of tasks. Start here and then specialize later if you need. And that's exactly what I did. Here's my hiring criteria for an EA. First, have them take the rocket fuel assessment. This tells you whether somebody is a visionary, like a big picture thinker who really sees the future, or an integrator, someone who is more about execution, who builds the systems to get you there, to get you to that big vision that the visionary dreams up. Now, what you are looking for is strong integrator tendencies, but it is even better if they score really high on the integrator side and they have a fairly solid visionary score. That means they can really do execution well, but they can also help you to understand what the business needs and what you're going to need down the road. Second, you'll have them take the Big 5 personality test. So this measures 5 core personality traits: openness to change, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. You really want high conscientiousness. You don't want agreeableness to be too high. You'll often find it high with this type of personality, but you don't want it too high that they will just basically roll over and not give you any pushback at all. But really, conscientiousness is the trait that really predicts reliability, follow through, attention to detail, all of those things that you really want in an executive assistant. And then create a real hiring task from your prep work. So you've recorded all of these different videos of you doing these different tasks. Give them one of those tasks, one of those projects, and see how they do. Don't give them a fake test project. It's not really going to be helpful to see how they actually work in things that you actually need done. So pull from an actual tasks from the delegation list that you built earlier and see how they would handle something that they would actually be doing on the job. When we first hired our EA, Donna, she came from the corporate BPO world. It was a very bureaucratic background, but within months, it was clear that she was here to build the company, not just take tasks. She solved problems like they were hers. And so a few months in, we actually promoted her to the CEO of the company. And the lesson there is to hire for ownership, not just skill. So look for people who think ahead, they anticipate needs, they don't wait for instructions, and they really want to own the problems that you are experiencing in your business. And if you're wondering where you can find somebody like that, at Coconut VA, we handle the sourcing and the vetting for you. And we even offer 40 hours of free work. So you can really try out a VA and EA before you commit. So you can click the link in the description below to book a free call. Back to the video. Step 3, delegate. Once you've hired, it's time to onboard and start delegating. Hand them the SOP and the original Loom video. They will get the step-by-step process and also your commentary for clarity. It takes roughly 2 weeks to master a repeatable process to the point where they really don't need you anymore. They don't have any burning questions anymore. It's really just improvements and refinements to their process. In those first 2 weeks, over-communicate and provide as much information as possible. If you hold back here, they will keep coming back to you for questions. So over-communicate in this first bit, and then you never have to answer questions in the future because they will have understood everything, they understand the problem, and they will be able to find solutions on their own. You should start with delegating the tasks that you hate doing, not the tasks that you think are important to delegate. So find those tasks that you actively avoid and dread, because those are the ones that are really sapping your energy, and it will be much easier for you to actually let go of those tasks. For me, this looked like delegating sales calls and client relationships. It was taking so much of my time, so much of my bandwidth, and that all went over to Judy. She became our account executive at Coconut. Delegating people management, that went to Donna. She was our EA, who then became our CEO. Delegating LinkedIn outreach to talent, so that went to Carms, another one of my EAs who became our sourcing specialist. Another one, delegating event management, that went over to Isa, my third executive assistant who moved into the HR manager role. And there is a pattern here. Every EA that I've had has been promoted within 6 to 12 months into a different role at our company that's more permanent, that's more long-lasting than just my EA who's doing baseline tasks for me, but then of course all of these different emphases, right? In HR, in event management, all of these different areas that were taking up a lot of my time previously that now have a dedicated person to handle that. And the benefit here is that they learn the culture of Coconut, of our business, directly from me. They're working with me every day. They understand the company goals, the heart, the vision intimately, and I get to personally vet their work ethic and see their strengths and their weaknesses, of course. That being said, some things are still founder-led. So content creation, that is still me. High-level strategy, that is still me. And the math here really is simple. If you're doing $20 an hour tasks, admin work, when you could be doing $200 an hour CEO type work, you are losing $180 per hour in opportunity cost. Step 4, keep going until you are only doing founder tasks. So this is not a one-time thing where you will delegate some tasks, some projects, and continue on with your current workload. I mean, you are a founder, you are constantly paving new paths, you are constantly paving new processes. So you also need to keep delegating. It is a process, it is a pattern. So you will keep delegating until you feel like you're only working on passion projects and those high-level tasks. And as those passion projects become really important, vital company functions, then that is when you can start to delegate them. You don't need to be doing those anymore because you've already taken the risk, you've explored that new process, you've explored the benefits, and now you know it's vital to your company. Now you can start delegating that to people who can do it every day for the next 5-10 years. And it really took me 3 executive assistants that have now been promoted to other roles to get to this point where I am today. And that's 4 years from really the true start to finish of all of this delegation. But this has meant that I can now only work on projects I deeply care about. I can work when I want to. I can take a 3-week trip with my family and barely touch my laptop while revenue continues to grow, while the company continues to run. And getting to this stage should be the goal for all founders. Now, this definitely depends on your personal life goals, what you think of as success. But for me, business ownership is all about creating a lot of value where in the future you get to spend more and more time doing what you want to do. And it's taken me a long time to get to this point. It's taken years and years of entrepreneurship and risk taking. And who knows, maybe I made this sound easy in this video, but the truth is finding the right person can be a nightmare. It can take months, and that's if you don't hire the wrong person. This is exactly what we help with at Coconut VA. If you click the first link in the description, you can book a free call with our team. We can discuss how to best implement an executive assistant for you. From there, we source, vet, and interview candidates to help you find the very best assistant. And then we'll even give you 40 hours of their work completely for free, so you can test them, again, completely risk-free. Once again, click that link in the description below to book a free call. And if you want to know how I run $3 million a year business with just VAs, then watch this video next.